Hi everyone, I'm reviewing the Dash Deluxe egg cooker that at this point I'm really pretty impressed with, and it has to be one of the first appliances that I bought that my husband didn't complain about. So I'm going to give you a little bit about how to use it and actually do a demonstration. The cooker itself, everything is completely contained within the cooker for storage. The container that goes around the whole thing, another container for poached eggs. This actually holds eggs for hard boiling, and it's something that you should use whenever you're using any other cooker or any type of utensil in this. It just keeps everything up and off of the hot plate. Okay, the hot plate itself is stainless steel. There's been a lot of people complaining about the residue left in this and the brown. What I have found is that if I use distilled water, you get a lot less browning, and then the cleaning of this, if like you can see that I've got little marks on here because I didn't clean it last time, but it's stainless steel, so you have to use a stainless steel cleaner to get all of the little watermarks and whatever off of it. And I found this to be true with all of my stainless steel pots and pans. At any rate, I have hard-boiled eggs in this, and I think you need a little bit more than the recommended water to actually get a hard-boiled egg, and same goes for medium boils. Soft-boiled, I've done medium boiled, and they came out what I'd call very soft boiled. So I would use a little bit more than the water that was recommended. I did call tech support, and what they recommended according to their instructions, and I don't know if you can see this, soft boiled 1 to 6 eggs, you would use 2.2 ounces of water, and for soft boiled 7 to 12 eggs, 1.75, medium boiled. At any rate, what it boils down to is when it says 6, it's 1 to 6. When it says 12, it's 7 to 12. So this is kind of a guideline, and depending on how you like your eggs, you might want to add a little more water, since the amount of water that you add is what determines the cook time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration here. I've already done hard-boiled eggs. I have done soft-boiled, or what they call poached, and they come out really well. If you want them to be a little bit more done, leave the cover on a little bit longer, and they'll get a little bit more done. But I've used the soft-boiled. They come out really well. But as you can see, they're kind of like little egg shapes. So you might want something a little different for your breakfast. So I have something else to suggest here. What I've done is I've put some eggs into a ramekin, and my ramekin is a 5-inch. I've done this already with 1 egg per ramekin using 2, and used the amount of water for poached. So I'm going to see how this is going to work out. This is a 5-inch ramekin. I've put 2 eggs in it. It's I don't know, approximately 1.5 inches or so tall. And I'm going to take off this cover and pour in the water that they recommend for an omelet. And this is, mind you, distilled water. Then you put back on the cover that you have to have for anything you do. I'm putting in the eggs, put over the cover, and I'm going to also put this cover on it. What I should also mention is that the cord, it looks short when you first get it, but you have to unreel it from the bottom. Okay, once the cord is unreeled from the bottom, there's plenty of space to connect it to the electricity. So all you have to do is switch it on, and here we go. And I'll get back to you when this is done. At this point, it's still cooking. You can see it's filled with condensation and steam on the inside, and water's bubbling on the inside. So we'll see how long this takes. So far it's been about 3 minutes, and we'll see when it gets done. And I'll also let you hear what the buzzer sounds like, so you're not alarmed if you should get one of these, but it is pretty loud. But then if you're in a different room or you have to go to the bathroom, I mean, what the heck? I mean, you might need a louder alarm, and that way at least you'd hear it. So be back in a minute. Okay, the alarm's going off. I'm shutting it off. If I can with one hand. There, shut it off. Took off the cover. Eggs don't look too bad. Looks like the yolk is still pretty soft. You got to keep in mind everything's hot now, so I have to remove this with something that's going to protect me from the heat. Okay, take off this cover. Took off the other cover. Whoops, we steamed up. Looks like my eggs are cooked. We can get away from the steam here. Okay, we got a little bit of overflow there, but this didn't happen the first time. It could be because I put 2 eggs in here, but it's not really that big of a deal. Oops. And we did get a little bit of stuff in here, so I have to clean that out. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so a little barkeeper's friend, and the unit is pretty much looking about like new. My eggs don't look too bad, and I got everything dried off. I'm also going to point out that removing the eggs shouldn't be too difficult, since I put the oil in them to begin with. So they should be able to slip right out. And as you can see, they do. One egg got a little bit more done on the yolk, one not as much, so it's a little softer. I think the problem that I had here was that my ramekin was not deep enough. One egg in this worked perfectly, and I did 2 of them at a time, and that worked perfectly. So it's possible that my ramekin has to be a little bit deeper for 2 eggs. But what I also wanted to point out is that if you want to use this for steaming vegetables, it could also be used for... I thought I might also mention that this cooker comes with a recipe book, that you can do things like deviled eggs, eggs benedict, and it shows the recipe for it. On the page, tomato frittata, and it has more recipe ideas. And when doing omelets, you can add whatever things you like in an omelet. You could add little pieces of onion or green pepper, sausage, cooked sausage of course, but you can add things to your omelet to make it like really good. Add cheese on top. It's really open to your imagination. So I think this cooker has a lot of options, and it's something that could be very useful. So I hope that this review was helpful for you, and thank you for watching.